guys, it's Cece. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're playing some Raid Shadow Legends. If you have been following along with my account, then you'll know that I am newer to this game as of this year, but Raid has actually been out since 2018. So let's talk about why start Raid now. Sometimes when you come into a game that is established and has been going on for a while, it can feel a little daunting, like there's a lot happening, but that's also a really good thing because it means that since the start of the game, they've made a lot of quality of life updates, they've made changes, and also there are players to help you throughout. So there are guides made, there are videos made, and people to actually help you start your journey the easiest way possible. And I have another way that I can make your journey even easier, and that is if you are actually downloading the game using my link, which is down in the description box, or you can also scan that QR code on the screen. By doing that, as a new player, you're actually going to start your account with a legendary champion on day one. This link, which is exclusive to me, you're downloading, you're actually going to start your account with Elenaril right away on day one. And starting with a free legendary champion honestly makes your journey so easy. You get through your campaign, you can do arena, everything like that makes your journey just that much easier. And at level 25, I also send you Uugo, who is an amazing support, arguably one of a really good epics in the game. And again, it's another thing that's going to make your start just that much easier. You also get to enter a new player code, and this one is limited to one of these codes per account. So the one that I suggest using is code Monkey King. That's going to give you the legendary champion Sun Wukong, and you have to enter this code within 72 hours of downloading the game. But once you do and you get that legendary champ, he's going to make things a lot easier. He's also only here for a limited time. The great thing of starting a game with other champions is that you are not reliant on necessarily putting everything into your starter champion or some of the other 2 stars and 3 stars that you're going to summon and get, and feel like you're forced to kind of use them to get through the game. So starting with Elenaril, for example, one of the reasons she's really good is because she actually has HP burn on her first skill, which is something that cannot be resisted. Her second skill is an AoE attacking all enemies, where she's going to be able to place poison on them. And then a third skill, which is actually going to activate that poison debuff on all enemies instantly. So having somebody that can do the AoEs and apply things like poison is going to be super helpful, not only for campaign, but you're also going to be able to use her in different dungeons, and it will help your progression. When we're talking about Uugo, so as I said, Uugo is a really good support champ, and I do think Uugo is actually one of the best epics in the game for a number of reasons. But first skill, it's going to have a chance of placing a leech debuff, and then it also, on the second skill, is an AoE with a defense break on everybody, but also has a chance of blocking buffs on them. And it's really the supportive third skill because it is going to remove any heal reduction debuffs from all of the allies, removes a random debuff from all allies, and also heals them. And if all the allies are dead, it's actually going to revive them with 50% HP and fill their turn meter. So it's really nice to have a champion that's able to do all these things for you. Even has a passive where it's going to increase the speed and a block damage buff on the champion for 1 turn whenever the champion's last living ally is killed. So gives an opportunity to kind of self-buff and have the revive. So like overall, Uugo is amazing. You can use in so many places of the game and is not going to fall off. You're going to use Uugo from the beginning to the end. So again, definitely take advantage of that download link. I hope these champions are going to help you out in the game, but be sure that you also subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos, as they will be doing actual just straight highlights on these champions themselves, talking about them, where they're good, along with other videos, guides, and updates. So I can tell you from my experience, I started the game using my links. I used the code Monkey King and I got Sun Wukong. At the time I was playing, they had a login event, so after 7 days I got Loki. So I started my account with 3 legendaries like right off the hop. And it made my journey just that much easier. And I can guarantee you this is something different than when the game would have first come out. So as the game has kind of progressed and they've learned and they've updated and, you know, they've just essentially tried to make their game even better, it's become really friendly for new players to come into the game and actually try it out. And having a start like that doesn't feel like it's as grindy and as like time consuming that early you're like, oh, I'm going to struggle to even do the smallest things. It really does make it easier. The other nice thing about starting a game that is established and starting a game in a year like this would be that there are so many guides out there and so many videos and so many supportive things that you can avoid making mistakes early on. And that is part of what I'm doing with my own series. So be sure you subscribe so you're not missing on my future videos. But I'm an account that's starting from day one, and I'm trying to make sure like I don't make those mistakes, and I make videos on it or make tips, and I'm letting you guys know also not to make the mistakes. And I appreciate your guys' feedback as well, because the Raid Shadow Legends community has been amazing. You guys have been awesome in leaving comments, leaving advice for players. So it is something that I would say I also really am enjoying about the game, is just the community aspect and how helpful everybody is for each other. So I do want to hear from you guys. Comment down below and let me know how Raid was when you first started. Have you noticed any big quality of life updates, and which ones have actually been your favorites since starting the game? Comment down below and let me know. The other great thing about Raid is that you can play at your own pace. So there's nothing that really rushes you through the game and tells you like you need to do this next and do this and do that. You can play the game exactly how you want to play it. So play it at your own pace, at your own speed, and find what you actually like in the game. So with Raid, it is a game where you have different champions that you can actually summon, but there's also so many different things to do in the game. There's things like Arena, you have your campaign, you have PvE with dungeons, and then you even have PvP. So atop just doing regular Arena, eventually you're going to have your live arena, your tag team arena. So if you're interested in PvP, they have that. If you're interested in PvE, they also have that part. And if you're somebody who's kind of more interested in like summoning and seeing champions and figuring out how to build them, that is another thing that is a part of the game, is the fact that you summon these champions and that there's so many in the game and that there's so many different roles that they play, that for myself, part of the fun is figuring out what champions are good where, or what teams can I come up with? Who can I combine? What skills work well together with them? And for me, that's the creative fun part, is that I get to figure out who I want to build, where I want to use them, and who I want to actually use together. So there's really so many different ways that you can approach the game and play it. Something else that you may be asking or wondering is, as a new player, like, am I going to be able to be a free-to-play? And the great thing about Raid is, yes, you play the game how you want to play the game. If you want to come into this game, be a free-to-play player and not spend anything on it, you don't have to. Just play the game at your own pace. The game is not going to make you spend money. It's all about how you want to play it and what you want to spend it on. The other flip side to that is that they do have some really great packs in the game. So if you are wanting to spend a little bit, then you absolutely have that option. They will have multiple different packs that happen. They even have different ones that are going to pop up for you that might be a limited time as an option. And there's some that are going to be really good value and ones that make sense maybe for you to buy for your account. But it's not a make or break. It's not something that like you have to spend or you don't spend at all. They don't give you the option. Like, it's however you really want to play. There's going to be some of those packs and options that are really great for the account, and they're going to, like, if you want to summon, go ahead and buy shards so that you can summon. If you need more energy or more crystals, it is an option. So they do have that there. Ideally, it's all about how you actually want to play the game. You will be able to make that choice on if you want to be a free-to-play, you can, and if you want to spend some money on the game, that's an option as well. I will also say the game is very visually appealing in terms of its graphics. So whether you are playing on mobile or on PC, because you have the option of playing on either, but everything from summoning to doing dungeons to ascending champions, all of it looks really nice, and it's not super taxing graphically, so it's not weighing down your PC. They've done a really great job of actually balancing it all. And when there is events going on in the game, like Halloween, for example, they actually decorated it. They put pumpkins around, so they keep it seasonal. They add things into the game. They also have different collaborations that will happen from time to time, which is also great because there's certain characters that they may have collaborated with that you're like, oh, I really want this character. I love this, or this is nostalgic for me. And it's something that they kind of are able to keep going from time to time, adding it into the game. So again, it's just another thing that makes it nice to look at and fun to play. I do think part of what makes the game enjoyable is having your own goals and your own objectives and kind of following through with that. So in my opinion, I definitely think Raid is still worth playing, especially after all these years. And more so than ever, as I said, they've made quality of life updates. There's things in the game that do make it more enjoyable that other games don't have. Like super raids, for example, which is where if you are farming a dungeon, you can use twice the amount of energy. You'll get twice the drops as well, but for one run. So you're able to almost like double your runs right there. That's not something I've really seen in another game. And for me, it's something that I really enjoyed from Raid. So there's things that they definitely do different from other games, but there's things that I also enjoy. Like I said, the collection aspect of champions and figuring out where you can use them and how you can use them, and setting my own goals. So making my first level 60, making my first clan boss team, making a better team for dungeons. It's small goals you make for yourself that you follow. And it's what I'm personally enjoying about the game, and it's what I think keeps me playing, and it's also what I think makes the game worth checking out even all these years later. So everything considered, I hope this video has kind of shown you why I think it's worth starting Raid, especially now, and especially if you can use my download link. Get yourself Elenaril, get yourself Uugo, use my link, make your journey a lot easier. And as I'm a new player and I'm kind of starting this journey, be sure you subscribe so you can follow along with me and my journey, and comment your own journey down below and how it's been for you with Raid throughout the years. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Next level.